Have you ever felt it? That quiet, nagging ache deep within your soul, a strange sense of unease that whispers to you in the dead of night when the world is finally silent. You look around at the life you've so carefully constructed, the career, the possessions, the relationships, and on the surface, everything seems right. You've ticked all the boxes, followed all the rules, and yet, a profound emptiness echoes through the halls of your heart. You feel like a stranger in your own life, a performer playing a role you never auditioned for. If this feeling resonates with you, know that you are not alone, and you are not going crazy. You are simply beginning to awaken to a truth so vast and so deeply hidden that most of humanity never dares to face it. This is a sign that your higher self is calling you to look beyond the veil, beyond the grand illusion. If you've ever felt this divine discontent, let me know in the comments by writing, "I am awakening," and let's embark on this journey of remembrance together. Be sure to like this video and subscribe, because the path we are about to walk is one of profound liberation. The world presents you with a dazzling spectacle, a grand marketplace of choices designed to make you believe you are the master of your destiny. From the moment you are old enough to form a desire, you are told that freedom is the ultimate prize, the sacred pinnacle of existence. But what is the freedom they offer? It is not a state of being, it is a product on a shelf. It is a slogan, packaged in glossy advertisements, polished with the promise of happiness, and sold to you with a no-refund policy. We are taught that freedom means having options, the freedom to choose between 100 brands of toothpaste, 1,000 different career paths, an endless scroll of potential partners on a screen. We are conditioned to believe that this vast buffet of choices is the very essence of liberty. We spend our lives meticulously curating these selections, believing that each choice, the car we drive, the clothes we wear, the neighborhood we live in, is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of our unique, self-directed lives. We are trained to mistake variety for autonomy, motion for progress. We are like children in a cosmic toy store, so mesmerized by the sheer number of toys that we never realize the store itself is a cage, and every single toy was placed there by an unseen hand. Frank Zappa once uttered a truth that cuts through the noise like a divine thunderclap. The illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue the illusion. And make no mistake, this illusion is immensely profitable. Entire industries are built upon your quiet desperation, on your yearning for something more. They sell you the next phone, the next diet, the next self-help course, all under the banner of empowerment and freedom. Each purchase, each upgrade, each new pursuit gives you a momentary hit of control, a fleeting sense that you are moving forward, that you are winning this game called life. But what is the true cost of this game? You chase more, you earn more, you scroll more, you achieve more, and yet a pervasive anxiety hums just beneath the surface. Most people walk through their days feeling tired, trapped, and vaguely anxious, haunted by a sense of meaninglessness they cannot articulate. We have become experts at confusing the frantic activity of our lives with genuine purpose. We have mistaken the freedom to consume for the freedom to be. The system has brilliantly convinced us that more choices will automatically lead to more fulfillment, a lie so pervasive that we have built our entire civilization upon its shaky foundation. But if you stop and truly look around, you will notice something strange. Everyone is supposedly free, yet almost no one is truly at peace. A man who is given the choice between 10 different cages is still not a free man, no matter how golden the bars or how soft the velvet cushions inside. He may spend his life debating the merits of each cage, celebrating his ability to choose, but he remains a prisoner nonetheless. Modern society doesn't need to lock you in a dark cell with iron bars anymore. Its methods are far more subtle, far more insidious. It doesn't build a room around you, it builds a maze. A vast, intricate labyrinth, with walls constructed from cultural expectations, social pressures, and the relentless noise of media. And then, it whispers in your ear, "Run, run faster, The one who navigates the maze most efficiently is the winner. We spend our lives racing through these corridors, celebrating our ability to choose between path A and path B, completely oblivious to the fact that someone else designed the entire alphabet before we ever arrived. We are so focused on the choices immediately in front of us that we never think to question the very structure of the maze itself. You think you are flying because you can feel your wings moving, but you have never once questioned the invisible ceiling that keeps you from soaring into the true expanse of the cosmos. This ceiling is made of limiting beliefs, inherited traumas, and societal programming that has been passed down for generations. It is the story that tells you your worth is determined by your productivity, your bank account, your social status. We are like birds, born and raised in a vast, ornate aviary, so accustomed to the confines that we mistake the gilded mesh for the sky itself. We have normalized the feeling of limitation, accepting it as an unchangeable part of being human. We have forgotten the scent of the open air, the feeling of the wind beneath our wings, the limitless potential that is our divine birthright. The promise of true freedom is always dangled just ahead of us, like a carrot on a stick. Just get that next promotion, the system says, and then you'll be free. Just save enough for retirement, and then you can truly live. Just find the perfect partner, and then you will be whole. But each time you reach for the carrot, it moves one step further away. This delayed freedom is not freedom at all. It is a leash, just long enough to give you the illusion of movement, to keep you running on the treadmill, powering a system that feeds on your life force. And by the time you finally pause, breathless and exhausted, to ask yourself, what am I even running toward? You are often too deep in the race to turn back without a crushing sense of fear or shame. So, what if the real trap isn't your job, your mortgage, or your circumstances? What if the real trap is the way you have been taught to think about escape itself? What if true freedom isn't something you achieve or earn at the end of a long, obedient life? What if it is something you remember, something you reclaim, once you stop believing that you need permission to be yourself? The fastest path to freedom isn't found in more effort, more striving, or more accumulation. It is found in less illusion. It begins the moment you stop performing for a world that has forgotten how to be authentic. It doesn't require 20 more years of sacrifice. It requires one single, courageous moment of clarity. A moment where you finally see the chasm between the life you have been living and the life your soul is yearning for, the life you were truly meant to create. In the modern world, the concept of liberty has been cleverly split into two very different forms, a distinction that holds the key to your awakening. The German psychoanalyst and philosopher Erich Fromm called these freedom from and freedom to. Freedom from is the one our society champions. It is a negative freedom, a freedom of escape. It is freedom from tyranny, from tradition, from external authority, from the constraints of your family or your small town. This is the rebellion, the breaking of chains, the defiant act of walking away from what once held you. And while this step is often necessary, it is only the first step. On its own, freedom from leads directly into a terrifying void. When you escape the old structures without having built anything to replace them, you are left in a state of profound isolation and anxiety. The old map is gone, but you have not yet drawn a new one. This is the wilderness of the soul, a space of directionlessness and fear. And it is in this vulnerable, empty space that new masters rush in to stake their claim on your soul. Having escaped the authority of a king or a priest, you now find yourself unconsciously seeking a new authority to fill the void. You might find it in a boss, a political ideology, a guru, a brand, or a social media feed that tells you who to be, what to think, and what to desire. You trade one set of chains for another, often without even realizing it. These new chains are more elegant, more comfortable. They are chains of social approval, of consumer identity, of chronic busyness that keeps you too distracted to notice your own emptiness. You think you've leveled up, but all you've done is swap a visible prison for a far more sophisticated one. This is the great trap of modern freedom. It's about appearing to be free, being seen as free, but not actually feeling free in the core of your being. And it is utterly exhausting, because deep down, beneath all the noise and the performance, you know the truth. The cost of this so-called freedom was far too high. It required your silence, your energy, your weekends, your wildness, your most authentic and inconvenient truths. The system sold you a polished, optimized dream, and in return, you handed over your raw, unfiltered, beautifully imperfect self. But there is another way. This is the path of freedom too. This is a positive freedom, a freedom of creation and self-realization. It is not about what you are escaping from. It is about what you are building, what you are becoming. It is the freedom to connect with your own inner guidance, to act from a place of deep, personal purpose, not from impulse or external pressure. It is the freedom to love without the need to possess, to give without expecting anything in return, to create value in the world simply because it brings your soul to life. This is the kind of freedom that no one teaches you, because a society built on control and consumption has no interest in producing individuals who don't need to be managed, who don't need to be sold to. To cultivate this true freedom, this freedom to from, believed a person must develop three essential capacities. The first is self-awareness. This is the deep, often uncomfortable, understanding that you are not what the system says you are, and you never were. You are not your job title, your bank account, your productivity level, or your ability to fit into a category someone else made up. You are a whole, complex, divine living being with a mind capable of choosing its own meaning. It means asking the hard questions and facing the inconvenient truths about who you have been pretending to be. The second capacity is personal responsibility. This is not the capitalist version that blames you for systemic problems, but the profound, existential kind that acknowledges a powerful truth. No one is coming to define your life but you. It is the realization that you are the architect of your own inner world, the cartographer of your own soul's journey. This kind of responsibility is heavy, not because it is oppressive, but because it is honest. The world will not applaud you for it, because it is a silent, internal work. It is the work of creating your own values, of defining your own path, of becoming your own authority, not in arrogance, but in deep, unshakable integrity. And the third, and perhaps most crucial, capacity is the ability to love. Not the needy, transactional love that seeks to control or possess another person, but the spontaneous, creative love that connects you to the world and to others from a place of wholeness. It is the ability to connect, commit, and care without turning other people into a means for your own emotional survival. If you cannot love without owning, or give without expecting, you are still a prisoner, chained this time to your own insecurity. True love can only flow from a soul that is already free. Freedom too is rare because it's quiet. It doesn't look like rebellion or luxury, but like inner stability in a world addicted to performance and chaos. It means working not because someone is watching, but because you believe in the value of the work itself. It means living with intention, even when that purpose isn't trending. It means building a life of depth while the world tries to sell you an endless stream of shallow distractions. The fastest way to reach this state of being is through subtraction. It is about removing the lies, the noise, the scripts, and the roles that were never yours to carry. Less obligation, less pretending, less running toward things you don't truly want, just to prove something you don't truly believe. Each time you choose silence over performance, solitude over desperate popularity, intention over frantic urgency, you step out of the chaotic current and into a state of profound clarity. You reclaim a piece of your sovereign power. You don't have to burn everything down or vanish from society to be free. You just have to stop borrowing your identity from people who don't know you. You just have to stop performing a version of yourself that fits their expectations but erases your truth. Real freedom is not the reward for playing the game well. It is the exit from a game that was never worth your soul to begin with. So let go of the hunger to be seen, admired, promoted, or included by those who confuse your worth with your compliance. Let go of the story that tells you success and peace are the same thing, or that constant motion is the same as purpose. The system no longer needs to command you, it just needs to overwhelm you with choices, noise, and anxiety, so that you will voluntarily cling to any voice that offers a glimmer of certainty. That is the trap. You are not held by chains. You are held by uncertainty and your deep-seated fear of navigating life without a pre-approved map. And in that fear, you surrender. Not to violence, but to comfort. Not to tyranny, but to the gentle guidance that feels easier than facing the terrifying, beautiful responsibility of your own self. You see, we are afraid of true freedom because it demands that we become ourselves. And becoming yourself is the hardest, most courageous work you will ever do. It means facing the silence, facing the fear, and facing all the parts of yourself that were never given permission to exist. It requires that you stop outsourcing your soul to a culture addicted to validation and distraction. It asks that you become your own authority. You won't find freedom in someone else's formula because their map was not drawn for your unique terrain. You must become the cartographer, the one who chooses not just where to go, but why it matters. The people who are truly free don't need to prove it to anyone, because their life itself becomes the proof. Freedom doesn't begin when you have enough. It begins when you stop needing more to justify your existence. It starts the moment you stop measuring your worth by how well you conform to expectations that were designed to keep you small and manageable. The fastest path to freedom is not about acceleration, it is about interruption, the kind of sacred pause that breaks the trance of constant performance and forced ambition. It is a personal revolution that begins the moment you stop waiting to be chosen. Freedom is a choice, and that choice is yours, right here, right now. Are you feeling a subtle, persistent pull? A quiet whisper in the stillness of the night that suggests something is profoundly amiss. You survey the landscape of your life, the career you've built, the things you've gathered, the image you project, and from the outside, it all seems to be in order. You've followed the blueprint, you've met the expectations, and yet, a hollow echo reverberates through the chambers of your spirit. There's a feeling of being an actor on a stage, reciting lines from a script you never chose. If this sensation strikes a chord within you, understand that you are not losing your mind, nor are you alone. This is the signal of a great awakening, the first stirring of your soul as it begins to see through a masterfully crafted illusion. It is the call of your higher self, urging you to look beyond the comfortable facade of the world. If you feel this divine restlessness, affirm it in the comments with, "I am ready to see." Your engagement is a beacon for others on this path. So please, like and subscribe, and let us journey into this truth together. The world you inhabit operates as a grand marketplace, not just for goods, but for your very sense of self. It presents an endless array of choices, a dazzling spectacle of options designed to convince you that you are the sovereign ruler of your own life. From your earliest memories, you were taught that freedom is the ultimate prize. But the freedom that is offered is not a state of being, it is a meticulously branded product. It is a slogan, packaged and sold through a constant stream of messages promising happiness and fulfillment. We are told that freedom is the power to choose, to select from countless brands of coffee, to pick a career from a pre-approved list, to swipe through an infinite catalogue of potential partners. We are conditioned to equate this abundance of variety with genuine autonomy. We spend our precious life force curating these choices, believing that each selection, the car we finance, the clothes we wear, the social media persona we cultivate, is an act of profound self-expression. We have been expertly trained to mistake the frantic motion of selecting from a menu with the deep, resonant meaning of creating the meal ourselves. We are so mesmerized by the illusion of choice that we fail to recognize the walls of the very system that provides those choices. As the musician Frank Zappa so astutely observed, the illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue the illusion. And this illusion is the most profitable enterprise on earth. It is an economy built on your quiet dissatisfaction, on the perpetual ache for something that always remains just out of reach. Each new purchase, each career milestone, each social media like provides a fleeting sensation of control, a temporary anesthetic against the underlying feeling of being adrift. You are encouraged to chase more, earn more, scroll more, and achieve more, all while a low-grade anxiety hums beneath the surface of your daily life. Most people are caught in this cycle, feeling perpetually tired, vaguely trapped, and unable to articulate the source of their spiritual malaise. We have confused the freedom to consume with the freedom to create our own reality. The fundamental lie we have been sold is that an expansion of external choices will inevitably lead to an expansion of inner fulfillment. But if you dare to be still and truly observe, you will see the truth. Our world is filled with people who have everything they were told to want, yet feel they have nothing at all. Consider this simple truth. A man who can choose between 1,000 ornate and comfortable cages is still not free. He may spend a lifetime celebrating the luxury of his prison, but he remains captive. Modern society has perfected a more subtle form of control. It no longer needs to build walls of stone and iron. It builds a maze of perception. The walls of this maze are invisible, constructed from cultural narratives, social expectations, and the relentless pressure to conform. The system then encourages you to run through this labyrinth as fast as you can, rewarding you for your speed and efficiency. We celebrate our ability to navigate the predetermined paths, choosing between A and B, never realizing that the entire framework, the very alphabet of our lives, was designed by forces outside of ourselves. We are so preoccupied with the immediate turns and corridors that we never think to question the architecture of the maze itself. We are convinced we are flying because our wings are in motion, yet we remain oblivious to the transparent ceiling of limiting beliefs that has been placed just above our heads. This ceiling is a construct of societal programming, a collection of inherited assumptions about what is possible, what is valuable, and who we are allowed to be. Like a bird born in an aviary, we have come to accept the boundaries of our enclosure as the boundaries of the universe. We have forgotten the scent of the wild, untamed sky. The promise of true freedom is perpetually held out as a future reward, a carrot on a stick that keeps us moving forward on the designated path. Once you achieve this, then you will be free. The narrative goes, once you acquire that, then you will find peace. But that moment of arrival is always deferred, always just over the next horizon. This is not freedom. It is a leash, cleverly designed to be long enough to provide the illusion of autonomy, while ensuring we never stray too far from the post to which we are tethered. By the time we pause, weary and disillusioned, and ask the fundamental question, where am I actually going? We often feel it is too late to change course. But what if the true escape is not about finding an exit from the maze, but about realizing the maze is in your mind? What if authentic freedom is not a destination to be reached, but a state of consciousness to be embodied right here, right now? The journey to this freedom is not one of more effort, but of less illusion. It begins the moment you cease performing for an audience that doesn't see you, the moment you withdraw your energy from a system that does not nourish your soul. It does not require another 20 years of striving. It requires a single, powerful moment of radical honesty, a moment where you acknowledge the profound difference between the life you have been living and the life that is waiting to be lived through you. It is a moment of choosing yourself. To truly understand this, we must look at the two distinct types of freedom identified by the philosopher Erich Fromm: freedom from and freedom to. The freedom our society endlessly promotes is freedom from. This is the freedom of negation, of escape. It is breaking free from oppressive traditions, from external authorities, from the limitations of our past. It is an essential first step, a necessary act of rebellion. However, when this is the only freedom we seek, it leads us into a spiritual vacuum. To break the chains without knowing what to do with your hands once they are free is to trade one form of suffering for another. This void is characterized by isolation, anxiety, and a profound sense of being lost.